Hey, AIESEC! How are you guys feeling? So what's up is that we've just launched our very first exclusive partnership with AIESEC in Malaysia. I'm really excited to be here. And we thought, now that we've launched this partnership, this is a great opportunity for me to share with you guys what Mondelez is all about. You've seen a brief glimpse of what it is, but I'm here to tell you a little bit more. Before I do that, a little bit more about my own background. I'm Swadheen. I have been working in the consumer goods industry for over 23 years, which basically means I've been working for longer than most of you have been on this planet. I know, it's true, and I have to say, standing here, a lot of people say, oh, I feel old. Actually, I don't, I feel really young. The secret to youth is to hang out with young people, and I feel really young right now. I've been really lucky. I'm privileged to be leading our business here in Malaysia. Before this, I've had the chance to work across a lot of markets. I have lived in 4 countries. I have lived in India, in Singapore, in Australia, and for the last 7.5 years in Malaysia. We moved here when both my girls were really young. They have lived more of their lives in Malaysia than any other place. My wife and I are very clear, we are going to retire in Malaysia eventually. This is where we will live out our days. And a lot of people ask me, why? Why Malaysia? I mean, you know, you're from India originally, you're now a Singapore citizen, so why are you going to live in Malaysia? The answer is very simple. I'll talk a little bit about my work passions later in this conversation, but outside of work, I have 2 things I'm really passionate about. One is travel. Last week now, the week before last, I finally completed one of my important personal goals in life. I had a goal that I want to have visited as many countries as my age. I am now 46 years old, and 2 weeks ago, I visited my 46th country. And the plan is to make sure I visit at least 1 new country every year, and I keep the record, right? So my other passion, which is what makes the decision about living out my days in Malaysia a really easy one, is I love food. And if you're a foodie and you're adventurous, Malaysia is paradise. Nothing comes even close. So for those of you who want to compare notes on the best kolo mee in Miri and Cebu, I will tell you the coffee shop. The best char siu is in Glenmarie. I will tell you the 2 joints in Penang that serve Indian noodles, which are amazing. I can talk at length about the chili crab at Unique Seafood with the fried buns, which are just awesome. I love food. And so, just to let you know, there is really justice in this world. I ended up working for a food company. And I'm really, really happy that I'm doing that. So that's me, that's my background. And as I said, I would love to talk a little bit more about Mondelez and what we believe in and what we stand for. So what I thought is I'll talk about 3 things. I'll talk about our brands, I'll talk about our people, and I'll talk about our culture. And I actually wanted to start by sharing with you, why am I talking about these 3 things? So what is so special about these 3 things? Having worked for so long, having been in so many markets and cultures, I've realized that for most consumer goods companies, these 3 things are the ingredient that define the character of a company and the chance of long-term success. Every consumer goods company is a unique combination of these 3 ingredients. Think of it like the primary colors, right? You've got red, blue, green, and a mixture of those will create all those shades that you know. These 3 characteristics will pretty much create all the variations of the different organizations you see around you. And if you get the balance right, those companies are successful and they survive in the long term. If you don't get the balance right, well, you don't, and you don't thrive at all. Our brands are what consumers know. Our talented people are the ones who create those brands. And it is our unique culture that allows us to attract the best talent who will then create those brands. So if you understand what these 3 things are in Mondelez, you know pretty much everything there is to know about Mondelez. And that's the ambitious agenda I have for today. Talk a little bit about these 3 things so you get a sense of what Mondelez is really all about. Now, like any other company, Mondelez is a business. And, you know, of course, we're here to win in the marketplace. We want to grow sales and create shareholder value and all of those things. But Every business wants to do that. So what's so special about Mondelez? What is unique? Why do we exist? Why are we special? The purpose that we have called out for ourselves that makes us different, and that allows us to come to work every day and not just talk about business, but something that is more important and more underlying to what we do every day, is our purpose. And our purpose is that we want to create moments of joy. And I think the evidence of 5 minutes ago is pretty compelling. I think we can do a pretty good job of creating a lot of moments of joy. We want to create joy for our consumers. We want to create joy for our employees. We want to create joy for our customers. And we want to create joy for all the communities in which we live and work. And that's what we try to do every single day. That is truly our purpose as a company. And we also have a dream. It's a simple dream, and it is simply to be the very best snacking company in the world. We are big, but being big is not enough. We want to be the best. We want to be the standard by which our industry is measured. So that's our purpose, and that's our dream, and that's what we basically work for every single day. So our brands. As I said, consumers know our brands. Very few people actually know what Mondelez is. And I have a story I love to tell. It's an experience I have on a very regular basis. And even though it happens so frequently, it delights me every time it happens. I'm going to share that with you. It's become a little bit of a party trick for me. So imagine a social situation. You know, you go to a party, you're meeting people for the first time, you may be at some sort of an industry conference, and so you'll introduce yourself. Hi, I'm Swadheen, and people will ask you, what do you do? So I say, I work for Mondelez. And I can see they have no clue what I'm talking about. There is no hint of recognition. Their faces are completely blank. So they nod politely and then say, oh, okay, so what does Mondelez do? So then I start. This is my cue, right? I say, we make Oreo. Oh! And Cadbury Dairy Milk. Oh! And Chips More. Oh! And Jacobs, and Halls, and Twisties. Wow! So by the end of this, they've got this huge grin on their faces, and they're telling me how much they love the brands, and how when they were kids, they used to take Twisties in their school snack, and how their kids love Oreo. And if you meet someone like a Jack, he will tell you how he likes the small Chips More and not the big Chips More, because the small ones are so cute. Sorry, Jack, we got the really big Chips More today. But I think a lot of people found him pretty cute also. So consumers love our brands, and they know our brands. They don't really know us as a company. But those brands are really what help us thrive. And we have an amazing collection of some of the world's most loved brands. We operate in about 165 countries. Our annual revenue is $26 billion US. For those who want a quick reference, that's 120 billion ringgit a year, which means we sell 10 billion ringgit every month across the world. That's a really big business. And we operate from a position of immense strength. We have 4 core categories. In 3 of those, we are the #1 player in the world. #1 in biscuits, #1 in chocolates, #1 in candy. And we are #2 in gum. So, great brands, strong market positions, big scale, and that's what we're really proud of. But, instead of talking about these brands, I'm going to show you a little video that captures all of them. Before I do that, each of these brands have more than $1 billion of turnover every year. And 50 of these brands have more than $100 million of turnover every year. So we've got both variety as well as scale. And to show you how some of these brands look. And that captures it. You know, when you see Toblerone coming and you're like, oh, we didn't know that was Mondelez. And that's what I meant. Consumers know our brands. They don't always know Mondelez. And that's why our brands are so amazing. And of course, that is also why our purpose is so meaningful. With the brands that we have and consumers love, our capacity to create joy is absolutely infinite. But the people who build those brands and create that joy are the people in our organization. And that's why people are the heartbeat of everything that we do. Getting the right people in, making sure that we develop them, give them the right opportunities, and help them succeed is absolutely the single most important that me and my leadership team focus on every day. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the journey of how someone coming into Mondelez and then what happens after that is. This is part of our Malaysia organization. Can't get everyone into one photo, but it's a very young team. Average age in our office is late 20s, so not that old. I'm not representative of the average age. It's a very diverse team. We have a number of nationalities in our office, and we have a great gender mix. Something we're really proud of, you know, to have a truly multicultural, multi-ethnic, multinational, and a gender-balanced office is something that we've really taken a lot of pride in. You know, we've got a great recruitment process. We've got some really robust ways that we assess new candidates. We test them on leadership skills. We look at their problem-solving ability. We look at all those things that, you know, they've done in their career, academically and outside. But me personally, there are two things that I always look for beyond all of that. And they are passion and curiosity. Money cannot buy passion. Either you have it or you don't. It cannot be taught. It cannot be trained. It cannot be shared. It has to come from within you. And same is true for curiosity. Either you are curious, you want to know about the world around you, or you don't. And those who have curiosity and passion are those who are likely to succeed most in a place like Mondelez. And why is that? That is because we have a philosophy of learning where people with an innate curiosity are always going to be at an advantage. So we have a philosophy called 70-20-10. What it means is we believe formal training, getting people into a classroom, sharing with them the theory of how things are done, that's only about 10% of what we do. That is then supported by 20% coaching effort from their immediate boss, from the people around them, for people who've done the job before, and so that is the part of coaching and mentoring they get. But 70% of all learning really happens through actually doing the work, by learning from your own experiences, from your own mistakes, and from the mistakes of others. So if you are curious, you will learn faster, you will grow faster, you will be more successful. And so being curious is really a very important quality that is required to succeed in a place like Mondelez. And once you're in, there's a long journey ahead, and it's a really exciting journey. So we've got a really robust graduate trainee program. We're looking for people who've got all those problem-solving skills, leadership skills, passion and curiosity. I would venture to suggest that the profile of the kind of people we're looking for is quite similar to the profile of people sitting in this room. I think AIESEC people are known to be good leaders and to be passionate and to be curious. So I think I'm sitting in the right bunch. So we get this profile of people in. We make sure that we give them the right training and development. We are very, very focused on providing career clarity to our people. We want to make sure that people's career paths are visible to them. They know exactly what's going to happen next, why it is the right move for them, so that they always know there's something exciting to look forward to. We have a really flexible workplace. We have some of the most progressive policies in Malaysia. We have people can work from home for 6 days a month. We've got flexible working hours. You can come into office anytime till 10. You can leave by 4:30 if you want. Come in early, leave early. Come in late, leave late. Because everyone's got different things to do in life, different passions, different needs they need to balance. And we believe providing that opportunity is really important. So there's a lot of flexibility that we have in our workplace. We want to make sure that when we are doing our assignment planning, there are a lot of transnational roles available. We are a global company, and there's no point in being a global company if you can't give your employees, your talent, global opportunities. So sitting in Malaysia, doing a regional role, going to other markets, doing roles over there, is always an opportunity available. So we're very proud about that. And of course, we want to make sure that while we do all of this, we also have a lot of fun at work. Having fun is an important part of who we are. We want to create joy for others. We damn well create it for ourselves, right? So that's really important. Which brings me to the point of culture. It's a pretty heavy word. Culture can mean a lot of things to a lot of people. I submit that in the context of an organization, culture is simply a shared way of doing things with passion. And organizations that have a strong culture, a positive culture, have a real advantage because they will attract the best talent. And talent that is there because they feel an emotional connection to the organization. That is really important. Most strong cultures are always grounded in solid and shared values. And we as an organization have 7 values that we really believe in. We live by these values every single day. The first is inspire trust. Please note, the focus is on inspiring trust. It is not on trusting others. You should act in a way that gets others to trust you. You say what you mean what you say. When you commit something, you do it. You do these things well, and you do it every day, and you will inspire trust. We want our people to act like owners. We've got 90,000 employees. But if all of them think of this company as their company, they believe that this is their own organization, their own business, we see behaviors which are amazing. I'm going to give you one example of this very soon. Big organization, 165 countries, lots of brands, a lot of people, things can get complicated. It's important that we keep life simple. We make stuff, we sell stuff, we spread the joy. It's not that complicated. It's not rocket science. So it's important we keep things simple for ourselves and for our stakeholders. We want to be open and inclusive. We really value diversity in all its forms, language, religion, ethnicity, nationality, you name it, and we want to make sure everyone has equal opportunity to succeed at Mondelez. We really believe in candor, telling it like it is. When you've got bad news, you bring it first. I always tell my people, if there's good news, tell me. If there's bad news, tell me faster. It's really important that we know what's happening and there is no holding back because that's when we will make the right decisions and move fast. Leading from the head and heart, easier said than done. A lot of people are always trained about success and business and logic and rationale, which is all good. It's very important. Can't let it go. But it's equally important to have your heart in the right place. Especially when you're thinking about people, you do it with a sense of heart and not just the head. It's really important. And finally, discuss, decide, and deliver. Organizations can get caught in the trap of just talking, not doing enough. We believe in making sure we have the right discussion, and once we make a decision, we go and execute. If we do that well, it's great. So, culture, values, passion, curiosity, big words, look great on a slide, but are they real? Do they really exist? Is it just some corporate mumbo-jumbo? I have to tell you, I have had my moments of cynicism when I am not sure whether this stuff is real or relevant or not. And then, comes along an incident that really brings it to life. And in the short history of Mondelez as a company, our biggest crisis actually came exactly 1 month and 1 day ago. So many of you might have heard there was a cyber attack globally on a number of government and non-government companies. Mondelez was one of the worst hit companies in the world. So at 7 p.m. on June 27th, there was a cyber attack, and almost all our systems went down overnight. No email, no access to any company system, cannot do invoicing, plants cannot function, sales cannot book orders, logistics cannot invoice orders. So to put it in your context, imagine your smartphones go blank. You cannot access Facebook, no Instagram, no Snapchat, no WhatsApp. I mean, life as you know it is over. It's pretty much, you're screwed. And that's exactly what happened exactly a month and a day ago. You would imagine you walk into a company that has just been hit by this attack. There will be complete panic. People are like tearing their hair out. What's going to happen? How are we going to survive? Absolutely not. The place was as calm as you can imagine. People basically said, you know what? There's a problem. We've got to solve it. And that's what they did. They just got on. People did stuff which is unbelievable. People brought their mattresses and stayed in office for 3, 4, 5 days. Did not go back home. No one asked them to do that. They did that because they believed. This is the emotional commitment. So, of course, given that we spread the joy, it's important to have fun at work. We love having fun, and whatever we do, this is a picture of a lot of our company people painting and dressing up a corner that we call the Joy Corner in one of our schools in Malaysia. It's something that we do for the community, and of course, while we do that, we have fun. And another important part of our culture is celebration, big and small. So we have a few fancy things we do. Once a year, we have an annual dinner where people will really dress up and do, have a really nice evening out. Last time we had a James Bond theme. I had to make a grand entrance on a motorcycle. It was all good fun. We have events like this, but we also celebrate our festivals through something called an open house. But there are other quirky ways that are uniquely Malaysian we've created. So, we measure our business in quarters. So you've got quarter 1, which is January, February, March. You've got quarter 2, which is April, May, June. And, quarterly results are very important for companies like us. So we had our first quarter, we had a big goal, and we really hit the goal, and we did very well. So we said, let's celebrate, and we'll do it in a uniquely Malaysian way. So what we did is we found, our office is in Manotama, and in PJ, there is this place called Village Park, has amazing nasi lemak. So we just ordered nasi lemak breakfast for the entire office to celebrate our quarter 1 results. And guess what? We just completed quarter 2, and this afternoon, when all of us go back to office, we have a satay and teh tarik party. So we've got someone who's coming to office, he's going to set up the stuff and drill the satays, and we're going to basically celebrate our quarter 2 results that way. And to give you a sense of why Mondelez has become a really fun place and why I vibe so well with my team, while we were waiting to come into this room, there's a room outside, we were waiting over there for you guys to say, okay, you can come in now. We were discussing, when our Q3 is over and we know we're going to have a great quarter, how will we celebrate that? Should we order laksa or should we order something else? So, guys, we love having fun. The culture we've created is of celebration, and that's something that makes Mondelez Malaysia a truly unique place. The quotation I guess get most often from people who come to our office, the first thing they say is, you know what, your office is so bright, there's so much happiness, and there's so much fun over here. And that makes our team the most proud because we made a lot of effort to make sure that that's the environment we've created. And we know that this culture, this unique culture, is our biggest advantage because of this culture we will get our best people that the market has to offer. And those people will give us the best results that we can get. So that's really what we've been able to do in Mondelez Malaysia. So this is great. I'm the leader of the business. Obviously, I believe in its purpose. I try to create joy for a lot of stakeholders. There is a very important stakeholder, and that is me. I love creating joy for myself also. So I want to share with you what is it that gives me joy. After having been reasonably successful in my career, being where I am, what makes me happy. A few years ago, I had this Eureka moment, like really, one of those aha moments when you sit back and realize, oh, a lot of things you assumed are not exactly the way they should be. So when I was your age, and I imagined myself being old and gray like I am now, and imagine what success would look like, I thought I will be at a certain position in some company, I will have a certain amount of money, I'll have a few material things that all of us associate with corporate success. And I'm lucky. I got a lot of those things. And I enjoy them, by the way. I'm very happy that happened. But I realized that the reason I am happy in life is not because of material stuff. What makes me happy is really to see my people grow and develop. And the closest emotion that I could identify in myself was the feeling I get when I see my kids doing something special. When they've achieved something which is really extraordinary, and I feel proud as a parent. Similar sense is what I started feeling for my people. And I realized that I have found my purpose in life. And I've actually got purpose for myself, which is I will help my children and those in my care to meet their full potential. And if I can do that, then I think I have really lived my personal purpose. So that was an aha moment for me that, as you become a leader, growing others, developing them is the true privilege, the true responsibility, and the real gift of being a leader. And when you do that, you also have to become a little bit more selfless. So it's not about the material gain and success for yourself alone. The definition of success becomes how do you help others become successful? How do you help others grow? And that is something that was a big realization for me personally. And the other realization was when I was younger and a little bit more arrogant. I thought I was the smartest guy in the room. I had all the answers, I could do everything, leave it to me, I'll make it happen. I'm the best, I'm the greatest. My journey of leadership has also been the realization that that is far from the truth. My true success is if I can get other people to do their best, because frankly, they will do a lot more and do it a lot better than I alone could. And that has been a remarkable journey for myself. And you know, that's, I think, when I really made the transformation to becoming a leader. So at this stage in my career, how do I define success? The material stuff is good, but if one day I can walk away and leave behind a set of leaders who will take everything that I do to the next level and do it even better, then I would have found my own joy. Now, one more surprise. If you could please look under your seats. Stuck under your seats is one more effort to spread the joy. Please enjoy. Thank you so much.